Welcome back to the deep dive. It is great to have you with us. Today is a little bit different, a little bit special. We're kicking off a focus on professional development tools. And specifically, we're looking at the HRDQ Resource Reviews.
That's right. We're cracking open the toolkit today. And honestly, the tool we are looking at addresses what is probably the single most universal and, let's be honest, frustrating and expensive problem in the modern workplace.
The coffee machine being broken?
Close. The people.
Yeah.
Specifically, team dynamics. We're doing a deep dive into a resource called What's My Team Member Style? It's part of HRDQ's best-selling style suite, and it basically claims to solve the mystery of why some groups of really smart people just crash and burn,
Oh, yeah.
while others just seem to soar.
I think everyone listening has been there. You get put on a project, everyone has an impressive resume, you've got the budget, you have the timeline, and yet nothing works. It feels like the gears are just grinding against each other.
Exactly. It's the super team fallacy, right? We assume that if we just stack a team with high performers, the best coder, the best writer, the best strategist, they'll naturally gel.
But they don't.
But usually they just annoy each other. The whole mission of this deep dive is really to unpack this specific instrument, one that's designed to bridge that exact gap. It's about moving from just a collection of individuals to a cohesive unit.
And the premise here, from what I was reading, it isn't about, trust falls or singing campfire songs. It seems much more mechanical than that.
It is. It's data-driven.
Yeah.
The core philosophy behind What's My Team Member Style is that you can't fix a team's output until you fix the team's input. And that input is self-awareness.
Self-awareness is a tricky term, though. I feel like if you walked into any office and asked who here is self-aware, every single hand would go up.
Oh, absolutely.
We all think we know who we are.
And that's the trap. We judge ourselves by our intentions. I intended to be thorough, but our teammates, they judge us by our behavior. You were being slow and pedantic. There's often this massive canyon between those two things. This tool is designed to close that gap.
The source material mentions something called the double perspective. Is that what you're referring to?
Precisely. This is the key differentiator for this product. I mean, most personality tests, and there are thousands of them out there, they're purely reflective. You sit in a room by yourself, you answer questions about how you feel, and it spits out a label.
Congratulations, you're an introvert.
Right. And then you say, yep, that's me, and you go back to work.
And nothing changes.
Exactly.
Okay.
But What's My Team Member Style is designed to uncover both your personality style and how your teammates perceive you. It's not just about who you think you are. It's about who you actually show up as in the team setting.
That sounds a little intimidating.
It does require some courage, for sure. But that's where the ROI is. If you want to build rapport, you have to align your intent with your impact.
Okay, so let's get into the mechanics. Because if I'm a manager listening to this, or even just a team member who wants to get better, I need to know how this actually works. I mean, is this a 3-day retreat? Do I need a PhD to interpret the results?
Not at all. And that's actually the first big selling point when you look at the format. Efficiency. The inventory, the assessment itself, takes approximately 10 minutes to complete.
10 minutes, that's it. That is incredibly fast. Usually these things feel like you're taking the SATs all over again.
It's designed for the workplace, where time is money. It's an 18-item inventory. But don't let the short length fool you. The way they gather the data is actually quite clever. It avoids what I call the binary trap.
The yes or no questions, I hate those. Do you like to lead? Well, it depends on who's following, right?
Exactly. Life is rarely black and white. So this assessment uses a 5-point system. For each of the 18 items, you get a pair of statements. And you have 5 points to distribute between those two statements to indicate your preference.
Okay, walk me through an example of how that math works.
Sure. So let's say one statement is, I make decisions quickly, and the other is, I take time to gather all the facts.
Okay, got it.
If you're really impulsive, you might give 5 points to the first one and 0 to the second. But most of us are somewhere in the middle. You might give, say, 3 points to decisions and 2 points to facts.
I see.
It allows the assessment to capture degrees of preference. It captures all the gray areas of human personality.
So it's much more nuanced than just checking a box.
Right. And once you tally up those points across all 18 questions, you get a score that places you into one of 4 basic behavioral styles.
And for the visual learners out there, and I definitely include myself in this, HRDQ uses a color-coded system, which I find really helps these things stick in your memory.
It really does. So the 4 styles are direct, spirited, considerate, and systematic. And they map to red, orange, green, and blue.
Let's spend a minute unpacking these because I have a feeling our listeners are going to start mentally categorizing their bosses and coworkers immediately. Let's start with the direct style, the red.
The red. Okay, so this is your high assertiveness style thing. Bottom line, they're focused on results, they speak quickly, they decide quickly. In a meeting, they are the ones looking at their watch asking, so what's the action item here?
I know a few reds, they can be a little intense.
They could be perceived as abrasive or impatient, yes,
Yeah.
but they get things done. Their intent is efficiency. Their impact can sometimes be intimidation.
Okay, so contrast that with the spirited style, the orange.
Oranges are also assertive, but they're high emotion. These are your influencers. High energy, really enthusiastic, persuasive. They're the ones drawing on the whiteboard, talking about the vision and the big picture.
The cheerleaders.
Yes, but also the chaotic element sometimes. They love starting things. They don't always love finishing them. They prioritize being heard and recognized.
Then we have considerate, green.
The greens are the glue of the team. They're lower on the assertiveness scale. They value harmony, stability, support. They are, without a doubt, the best listeners in the room.
Yeah.
They care about how the team feels.
The peacemakers.
Absolutely. But their struggle, their trouble spot, if you will,
Yeah.
is often decision-making. They don't want to offend anyone, so they can be slow to commit or, hesitant to give negative feedback.
And finally, the systematic, the blue.
The blues are the data-driven folks. Accuracy, process, logic. They will not move forward until they have read all the fine print. They are thorough, precise.
But I imagine they drive the reds crazy.
It's a classic conflict.
Yeah.
The red says, launch it now. The blue says, but we haven't finished the risk assessment. The red thinks the blue is an obstructionist. The blue thinks the red is reckless.
And that is exactly why this tool exists, right? Because without the tool, that's just a personal argument. It's Bob is being annoying.
Exactly. But with this tool, it becomes a structural conversation. It's not Bob is being annoying. It's Bob is being a blue. He needs the data to feel safe moving forward. It totally depersonalizes the conflict.
That leads us to the so what part of this. I take the test. I find out I'm a spirited orange. I find out my colleague is a systematic blue. Beyond just knowing that, what's the application? What do I do differently on Tuesday morning?
The core outcome here, the skill you are actually trying to build, is called flexing.
Flexing like a muscle.
Like a muscle, or maybe like a yoga pose. You aren't changing your bone structure, you aren't changing your core personality, but you are temporarily adjusting your behavior to meet the needs of the situation or the person.
So treating people the way they need to be treated, not the way you want to be treated.
The platinum rule, yes. If I'm an orange and I need to get approval from a blue, I need to flex. I need to tone down my enthusiasm, stop waving my hands and present a spreadsheet. I need to speak blue for 10 minutes.
It's almost like learning to speak another language.
It is. It's realizing that your default style is not the universal language. And the what's my team member style materials, specifically the learning outcomes, are focused on this. It helps you identify your strengths, sure, but more importantly, it helps you plan how to take advantage of the team's specific mix of styles.
So if you have a team of all reds
You're going to have a lot of conflict and probably very little detail work gets done.
and a team of all green,
You'll have a lovely time, everyone will get along, but you might never actually ship the product. You need the mix, and you need the flexing to make that mix work.
I love that. Okay, let's pivot to the practical side of this, the menu, as we call it. HRDQ offers this resource in quite a few different formats, and looking at the source material, it can be a little overwhelming if you don't know what you're looking for. Let's break down the buying options.
It really comes down to your role. Are you the facilitator, the person running the training, or are you a participant?
Let's start with the facilitator. So let's say I'm a trainer or a team lead, and I want to run a workshop on this. What do I need to buy?
The must-have, the master key, really, is the on-site print facilitator guide.
What does that give you? Is it just like the answer key?
No, it's basically a workshop in a box
Oh.
that includes all the background information so you sound like an expert. It has specific activities, scripts, instructions for administering the assessment. You don't have to invent the lesson plan from scratch. It's all done for you.
And I noticed in the notes that buying the physical guide triggers some digital goodies.
It does. You get an email with a bunch of digital support materials, a PowerPoint presentation that's ready to go, which is a huge time saver,
Yeah.
plus a learning overview, FAQs, certificates of achievement, and a sample online assessment report so you know what that looks like.
And bonuses. I saw style stickers mentioned.
We will get to the stickers. I know you're excited about the swag. But yes, the facilitator guide usually comes with a sample wall poster and sheet of stickers just to get you started.
Okay, so that's for the teacher. What about the students, the people actually taking the test? I see two main paths, print and online.
Right. And this really just depends on your environment.
So when would I use the print assessment 5-pack?
That's ideal for on-site classes where you might not have computers, or maybe you explicitly want people off their screens for a bit. You're in a hotel conference room or a warehouse break room.
And how does the scoring work on paper? Is it complicated?
Not at all. It uses pressure-sensitive forms.
Oh, like the old carbon copy receipts from back in the day.
It's a similar concept. You fill out the questionnaire on the top sheet, then you peel it back, and the scoring key is revealed underneath. It allows for immediate self-scored results.
Mhm.
And they recently updated the design to full color, so it looks quite sharp.
Okay, and what about for the remote teams or, the data nerds?
Then you want the online assessment credits. These are administered through what's called the the HRDQ Assessment Center.
That sounds official.
It's their online portal. The huge benefit here is the reporting. The system generates a personalized report with full-color charts and action planning worksheets. And as an administrator, you get to see the data for the whole group really easily.
That seems like the way to go for any kind of hybrid team. Now, what if I'm just listening to this? I'm not a manager, I don't have a team, but I'm dying to know if I'm a red or a blue. Can I just buy one?
You can. HRDQ offers a self-enrollment option. You don't need a facilitator. You don't need an admin account. You just buy the single license, take the self-guided online version, and get your report.
That's great for individual learners, or maybe for a trainer who wants to test drive it before buying 30 copies for the team.
Exactly.
Now, looking at the specialized add-ons, there was one that really stood out to me, the Observer Form.
Ah, yes. The Observer Form 5-pack. This is where things get real.
Explain this one.
So the standard assessment is you rating yourself. The Observer Form is designed for you to give to someone else, a peer, a boss, a direct report, to rate you.
Oh, that is brave.
It's specifically designed to check the accuracy of perception. It's often used in coaching. So if I think I'm a collaborative green, but 5 of my team members fill out the Observer Form and rate me as an indecisive green, that is a powerful, undeniable data point.
It turns the mirror around.
It does. And for the facilitator who might be a little nervous about navigating those kinds of conversations, there's also a quick start train the trainer option.
What's that?
It's a 1-hour virtual coaching session for the facilitator. You get time with the subject matter expert to walk you through the materials so you can walk into that classroom with total confidence.
That is a great safety net.
Okay.
We've covered the meat and potatoes. Now I want to talk about the dessert, the accessories, because HRDQ seems to have a lot of stuff to go with this suite.
They do.
Yeah.
And it's not just merchandising. There's a pedagogical reason for it. Multisensory learning helps with retention.
So run down the list. What can we get to spice up the workshop?
Well, first, the Style Suite stickers.
The famous stickers.
You get a pack of 100, and honestly, they can transform a workshop. Once you identify your style, you put the corresponding color sticker on your name badge or your shirt.
So it's a visual shorthand.
Exactly. Yeah. You can look around the room and instantly see the dynamic. Wow, look at all the red stickers on a leadership team. It makes the data visible and tangible.
Hi, I'm wearing a green sticker. Please be nice to me.
Exactly. Then there are the wristbands, available in all 4 colors. It's a more durable reminder that participants can take back to their desks.
I saw thumb balls on the list. I am a sucker for a thumb ball.
The Team Dynamics Thumb Ball. It's a softball, kind of like a soccer ball, with prompts printed on it. You toss it around the circle. Wherever your thumb lands, you answer the question. It's great for breaking the ice or waking people up after lunch.
And for the visual environment in the room?
The wall poster. It's big 17 by 22 inches. You hang it up during the session so the model is always visible. It lists the styles and their key traits so people don't have to keep flipping through their books.
And finally, for the people who want to go deeper than a 10-minute test.
There's the companion book. It's called Personality Style at Work by Kate Ward. The assessment gives you the what, but the book gives you the deep why. It looks at how personality influences career choices, leadership, decision-making, all of it in depth.
So summarizing what we've looked at today, what's my team member style? Is a tool that is fast, we're talking 10 minutes, but it goes deep. It gives you that critical double perspective of self-perception versus peer perception.
And it's versatile. Whether you're doing it online, on paper, alone, or with a group. But the big takeaway for me is really that concept of flexing.
Right.
The goal isn't just to label yourself and say, well, I'm a blue, so I don't do feelings. That's a cop-out.
Hmm.
The goal is to say, I'm a blue, so I know I need to work harder to connect with my green teammates. That is what builds a high-performing team.
It turns personality from an excuse into a tool.
That is the perfect way to put it.
Before we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with a provocative thought that came to me while we were talking about that observer form. We spend our entire lives inside our own heads. We assume our internal narrative is the reality.
But in a team setting, your internal narrative, it almost doesn't matter.
Exactly. Does your identity exist in your head, or does it exist in the collective mind of your teammates? Because if the team thinks you are difficult and you think you are just being principled, the team is the one that has to work with you. Their reality is the one that affects the outcome.
That is a terrifying thought, but it's also really empowering if you have the data to do something about it.
Knowledge is power.
It is.
Well, if you want that power, if you want to know what your team really thinks, or if you just want to get some of those cool stickers, you know where to go. Head over to the HRDQ store. Whether you're a solo learner or a manager ready to transform your department, the tools are there.
Grab the assessment, learn your style, and start flexing.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into HRDQ resources. We will catch you on the next one.
See you then.